Yo, what's good, man? Whisper Diaries. Three true disturbing Craigslist horror stories, encounters, whatever. I already know this. Like, it'd be mad scams on Craigslist. I already know. I never bought anything off Craigslist though. Like, I use Facebook Marketplace, eBay. That's it. Amazon. That's probably about it. But Craigslist, I don't know. I just never. I feel like it's better options than that. Most definitely go get scammed on it if you don't know what you're doing.
Way back in
Or set
2013,
up
I
anything.
was 22 years old and wanted to sell an old computer I had.
Oh yeah, selling. When it comes to selling stuff, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay. Well, not eBay because that's shipping, but one of those like never meet up at your house. I don't care. I don't understand when people do that. I'm not about to have no random person drive to my crib to buy something. I didn't know where you live. And you think like, nah, you don't know who
It
coming.
wasn't good enough to take into a shop or anything. It was kind of a piece of junk that I thought someone else could find use of. At the time, Craigslist was the only place I really knew of that you could post and sell things on. And
What?
honestly, I'd never heard any bad things happen from it.
Crazy.
It
How?
seemed like an easy access site that people nearby could get discounts from. I trusted the area I lived in as well, so I really had no second thoughts when I listed the PC on the site.
Talking about no set. Why not, bro? Just because the area you live, like you don't, bro. How you know the person who trying to buy it from the area that you live in? Just assuming. Even if it is, you don't
It
know
only took
everybody
a
in that area.
day before I received an email from someone willing to pay me that listed price,
Email.
assuming it worked as I said it did. I
You talk about email. You don't text them through the app. Email for Craigslist, like
assured him he could test it out when he picked it up, and we set to do the exchange the following morning. He said his name was Cameron, and that he'd send me an email when he was on his way over.
yeah, email though.
On the next
Email.
day, I got up early and waited until 11
This was
a.m.
in
when he was
2013.
supposed to show up. I was expecting his email to say he was coming, but he never sent anything. At 11:15, with still no email or signs of him coming, I decided to just open up the blinds and watch TV while keeping an eye outside in case he did show up. There was nothing until about 11.
Yeah, that'd be weird right there. You should already been on like alert, high alert. Somebody, what you posted, son? Somebody talking about they want to buy it. You send them the address. They don't show up. They just stop responding. All that. Yeah, you should have knew what was up by then. They try and do something.
5. From the corner of my eye, I saw a car slowly coming down the road and up to the front of my house. They stopped right on the curb, keeping the car running. Thinking it was them, I paused the TV and waited, but several minutes passed and the car didn't move or turn off. Then they suddenly just turned back onto the road and drove away.
Yeah.
I got up and went to the window, looking at the road and just really not understanding what that
What you
was.
mean you don't
I
understand,
didn't know if it was Cameron or just some random person that
bro?
coincidentally stopped there for.
Bro, it ain't no coincidence, bro. It's like, come on, put two and two together.
I closed the blinds and sent an email to Cameron asking if he was coming, but there was never any response.
Yeah, you should have been.
After an hour, I was done waiting and just went on with my day, forgetting about the whole thing. I had lunch and eventually dinner,
Think
then
you
got in bed early around 9 p.m. because I had to work the next day. I fell asleep quickly, but woke up some time after. I looked at the clock. It was only 11. It had barely been 2 hours. I closed my eyes again and tried to get back to sleep, but a very faint thump forced my eyes open again. I stayed
done broke into your crib.
there quietly, waiting to hear another so I could figure out what it was.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Only a moment later, it came again. It was from somewhere downstairs, but it wasn't something I'd heard before. I had no idea what it could be.
Bro, you know what it
Worried
is.
there may be a problem with the house, I got up and went into the hallway, then over to the stairs, hearing it several more times as I made my way downstairs. It also started to get louder, being much more than just a quiet thump.
You
I
telling me, bro? You keep hearing this? It's not one thought go to your mind that it's somebody in your house walking. Somebody done broken. The dude that you just texted gave your whole address. Stop responding. And you see a car pull up, sit like next to your driveway, whatever, and then just pull off. Too careless.
slowed down, stepping quietly through the kitchen, and turned the corner into the back hall. As I stared down the dim hallway, another thud rang through the house from directly at the end. When my eyes adjusted, I could see the faint outline of a figure moving outside the window. My heart stopped for a second. Then another heavy thud shook the window, causing me to jump and step back.
They try and break
The
in.
figure stood still and faced the window. Then the shadow slowly became more clear as they leaned their face close, pressing against the glass as I saw their eyes lock on me. That moment of horror felt to have lasted for
it
minutes.
saw like it saw like a horror movie. What? Dude said, pressed his face against the glass. Now he just looking.
But I know it was only a second or two before they quickly backed up and sprinted away. I ran and called the police, but they had obviously gotten away by then. Despite it seeming like an easy case of it being the man from Craigslist,
Yes.
Cameron, it wasn't so simple.
Not nothing they could do for
There
real.
really was no evidence of it being him, other than it happening on the same day I was supposed to meet him.
Yeah, exactly. You
I
probably
don't
don't.
know what they wanted either, but the bolt holding the window down had divots on the outside, as if they were trying to break it out of the window seal.
Bro, it's
I
getting
never
me.
found out anything else, but I also never took to using Craigslist.
Bro, it's getting me mad. How we just like? Why you talking like that? Like you still like it could be a possibility he wasn't trying to break. Like, bro, talk about the bolt to the windows broken as if, bro, he was trying. Obviously, he was trying to break in. Talk about you don't know what he wanted. What you think he wanted? Come on. How many signs people be needing?
Again.
You can use it. Just don't meet up at your crib.
A couple years ago, I moved out of my dorm room and into an apartment. Of the few pieces of furniture that we had in the dorm, none of it was mine, so I was basically in need of everything. I had more money than I did before, and was planning to save for a few more months before making a bunch of purchases on things for the apartment, but there were still a few things that I did need right away. One of these was a bed frame, but they were all really expensive, and after buying a new mattress, I was really not trying to drop a whole stack of cash on a frame. I pulled up a few used furniture sites, but landed on Craigslist as it had the most postings. A lot of them were really cheap, or even free, but they all looked horrible.
Yeah, if it's free, don't even get that. You don't know, like, nah, that ain't worth it. Bro, if they giving it away for free, come on. Why they ain't go try to make a little, like, if it's in decent condition, make at least a little something. Free is crazy. Don't even get that.
Then I came across one that wasn't too bad. It was just a plain old wooden bed frame that didn't look too beat up. I sent a quick email asking if it was still available, then went on with my
What's
search.
up with all these email, bro? What year this is this in? Like, you can't text people on Craigslist. They don't got like on Facebook Marketplace they got, you feel me, you could text people on there. The items communicated. I don't where you want me that. Can't do that on Craigslist. Why they keep talking about email?
A minute later, I got a reply. The man said it was still available for $35. That was a perfect deal for me, so I quickly accepted his offer and we set up a time to meet later that day at 6.
Too good to be true.
While I waited, I unboxed some things and moved a bunch of stuff around in the bedroom to make some space for the frame. And then at 5:30, the man emailed me his address.
Oh, he
It was
went.
20 minutes away in an area that I hadn't been to yet, though I wasn't exactly familiar with anywhere too well, since I just moved. I grabbed some cash and headed out. As I drove,
That's another way to get set up too. Driving to people's house. Nope, I ain't doing it. It's over. I done had like, yeah, I done had a few times buying, like trying to buy something off Facebook Marketplace. People want to meet up at their house or whatever. Nah, I ain't doing it. It depends for real. Like, yeah, it really depends. But most of the time,
to
nah.
try to get myself familiar with what was around. But about halfway there, everything sort of dropped off.
What you mean by
The
that?
town I was in very quickly ended, and the area became a lot less populated
Oh yeah,
with
get up out of
buildings
there.
and houses.
You sure already
It
know.
was not what I expected. As I got to the neighborhood his house was in, I felt a little bit better, seeing that the houses weren't too far apart, and it did look mostly normal. However, they were definitely not nice-looking houses. I pulled up to the address and parked in the driveway. The lights were on, and the front door was left open.
Oh nah,
I got out and walked up,
that's a
ringing
setup.
the doorbell. The
Setup.
man came a moment later. He was tall and heavy, wearing a hat and jacket as he invited me inside.
Nope.
He didn't really look strange in any way, but something about him made me feel strange.
Go with that gut feeling. You ain't wrong.
It was just the way he talked, I guess. Kind of like we'd been buddies for years.
Try and see me.
I followed him upstairs and down the hallway that led to a small spare bedroom. We stepped into the room, and I was immediately confused. The room looked occupied, with a dresser, nightstands, and even clothes.
Yeah, you about to get
laying
robbed.
around.
Somebody about to pop out the
And
closet.
even the bed frame had a mattress on it with sheets and blankets. I clarified with him that I was only wanting to buy the bed frame and not the mattress or anything else, and he said of course. I looked back over at the bed frame, seeing it looked like it was fine enough, so I said I'd buy it. He smiled and offered to help me drag it out to my truck, but said he'd want a drink before we get to it.
Nope.
The man walked back into the hallway and came back surprisingly fast with 2 glasses of beers that he must have been keeping in the next room over.
2 glasses.
He held one out to me, but
Nah, yeah. Bro, if you take this beer, you're slow, bro. I promise you. You about to drink the beer, huh? Watch. Watch.
must have been keeping in the next room over. He held one out to me, but I politely declined. He looked confused and said it'd be fun, acting like we might as well hang out.
Bro, get up out of it, bro. Everything, like, bro, put 2 and 2, do acting weird. Like, from that point on, you shouldn't have, oh yeah, he on something else. Like, I know it was something in that beer. He tried to, like, you feel me? Come on, you just here to buy a bed frame. You shouldn't even be in the crib at first. Like, dude left the door open. What he said, the house not in a good neighborhood. That's, nah.
I told him I was really busy tonight and really just wanted to buy the bed frame and head out, but he was getting really pushy. His smile became noticeably less genuine as he urged me to have a drink with him. I quickly stepped past him and into the hallway, just to not be cornered in the small room, and I told him I was just gonna leave.
Why you telling him, bro? What you telling, bro? Just leave. Like, what you... I'm just about to leave.
Walk out, and he immediately changed his attitude to being overly nice, apologizing and asking if I wanted to take the bed frame for free.
Yeah.
I ignored him, walking faster down the stairs as I heard the man coming after me down the hallway. I was able to leave before he ever caught up, and only saw him standing at the front door as I pulled away. Maybe he was just some lonely guy living out there that wanted a buddy to hang out with, but it was all just a little too strange.
Nah.
I mean, the bed and room were clearly in use by someone. When I got home that night, I checked the posting again,
What happened?
but it was gone.
Yup, dodged the bullet. He on there trying to set people. I wonder what he was trying. Like, you weird though. What he was trying to do? Cause if he was trying to rob him, or if he had people, he would have been got robbed. He was already in the house. They could have. You feel me? He tried to get him drunk. He obviously put something in the drink. It's gonna make him pass. Yeah, dude was on something weird. He would, if he would have drunk that, he would have passed out in like 2 minutes. He probably would have tied him up. Yeah, you don't know what he would have did.
From my memory, though, I knew the frame was shown by itself, with no mattress or anything. And come to think of it, it's even stranger that it wasn't like that when I got there, considering his intent was to sell it. But whatever that man was up to, I didn't like it.
Story 3, last one. They say the best for last.
I'm a 29-year-old female, and this happened to me just 3 years ago now. I didn't live anywhere near my family at the time, but one of my family members was having something serious go on, and I needed to be there for a few months at least.
Oh man.
My options for living while there were either a hotel, which would be incredibly expensive, or rent a place from a private owner. Finding someone who will rent out for only a few months is not an easy task. Most people's absolute minimum is 6 months. I spent multiple full days looking online and basically had no luck.
Nothing.
Until I got to Craigslist.
Oh, yep. That's the shit, yo. Like using Craigslist for that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That's a little bit too much. But you about to rent out a house on Craigslist? I mean, what?
I knew there was a renting section on the site.
Nah, I ain't trusting that. Craigslist? Like, come on. Nah.
But I was trying to avoid it unless it was necessary. Fairly quickly, though, I found a place not too far from where I needed to be. It was a very small house, which hopefully meant cheaper, and they didn't specify a minimum lease period. There was a phone number on the page, so I called it. An older-sounding woman picked up. She talked very slow, but we had a conversation about the property and pricing, and she was kind enough to let me only do a 4-month lease.
4-month lease?
Fast forward to a few weeks later, I arrived at the property.
Right.
Again, it was somewhat close to where I needed to be, but it was also very far out of the way from the main city, and kind of tucked away in the woods.
Nah.
As previously discussed, the woman didn't meet me there, but instead left a...
Tucked away in the woods? Nah, it's over for that. Tucked away in the woods? Man, what type of crib this? Like, what type of crib this is? You about to stay in there too? Of course, coming off Craigslist.
And some papers taped to the door. I went inside and took a look around. It was very old and kind of cramped. I did a bit of unpacking, then rested after the long drive, not doing much else other than watching TV. Around 7, though, there was a knock at the door.
Shut up.
I got up and checked my phone, not seeing any text from the lady saying she was coming over. I walked up and looked out the peephole. There was a man standing a few feet away from the front of the porch. I opened it. "Hi, how can I help you?" He kept a serious face as he explained that he was here for the fireplace cleaning. I looked over at his van that was parked in the driveway behind my car.
What he got? He blocked you in. Talking about he here for the cleaning. He ain't here for no cleaning, man. Why you even answer the door? Like, come on. He probably got one of those little white vans. I promise you. He got one of them big white vans parked behind the car, blocked her in.
Back at him. "It's a little late, isn't it? Almost 7:30.
Yeah, like what type of cleaners coming at 7:30? Like you already know he lying.
And said that's what it was scheduled for. I told him to wait a minute, closing the door and walking back to the living room.
You locked it?
I texted the lady and tried calling as well, but couldn't get a
I ain't
hold.
no lady, man. You think it's a lady? You was talking to him right there. That's the dude who made the listing, whatever. That's him.
Her. I then went over to the fireplace, and it wasn't all that dirty. I didn't really know what to think because it wasn't my house. Maybe it was just a cleaning service that the lady had scheduled as part of prepping the house for me.
Nope.
This might sound odd, but fireplace cleaning was almost such a random service that I thought the man likely wasn't lying. Like, if he said he was a plumber or something generic, I probably would have been more skeptical.
Come on.
I
You
went
fell
back,
for that?
and when I opened the door, the man was now standing right on the porch, just a couple feet from me. It almost scared me, not expecting him to be so close all of a sudden. Before I could say anything, he said he was trying to get out on time tonight and needed to start now, then stepped closer and put his hand on the door, gently pushing it a bit more open. Now I was getting uncomfortable and rethinking everything. Yeah, just give me one more minute and I'll let you in, I said, trying to close the door, but the man left his hand on it and kept it
Yeah, he ain't letting you close that. You about to push it open. Get ready.
open. Knowing I couldn't close it if he wasn't going to let me, I had no choice anymore but to let him in. I walked him over to the fireplace as he followed me close behind. He went up and looked at it for only a second, and right as he turned around, I took my keys from the counter and ran out to my car.
Smart. Okay, you smart. Well, a little bit. You smart a little bit. Like, you should never even open the door in the first place. Even if you did, like, well, he told you he was the cleaner or whatever. You talking about 7:30? Ain't no cleaners gonna come. You believed him because what he said was just so random. Like, come on, you really fell for that. You should already knew.
The man's heavy
But you,
footsteps.
but you, but you. I guess your senses came back in the end. So you smart. Got up out of there. I thought you was about to stay there, and then yeah, it would have been over after that.
Shook through a second, and right as he turned around, I took my keys from the counter and ran out to my car. The man's heavy footsteps shook through the house as I got out and into my car. He ran up to the window just as I turned it on. With his van right behind me, I had to turn off the driveway and into the woods, dodging trees as I quickly made my way back to the pavement and eventually onto the road. I called the police while driving, too scared to stop. When officers arrived, he and his van were gone,
Obviously.
having left the front door wide open. It plainly showed that he was not supposed to be there. Of what the police and I know, the man probably knew that this house was being rented out, and that whoever the new resident was, they wouldn't know if he was actually scheduled to clean the fireplace or not, so he might be let in. From there, it's anyone's guess as to what he planned on doing.
Hey man, that's why you don't use Craigslist to rent out a house. Like renting out a house on Craigslist is crazy. I see like what the dude said. He trying to get some furniture, whatever. Alright, with a phone, PS5 or something like that. But a camera or something. But like renting out a whole crib is crazy.